Hey, what's up, guys? It's Uchiha here, back with the next part of What If Naruto was raised by Jiraya Tsunade. Before continuing this part, I would like to make an announcement. The next part of What If Naruto and Mother's Love will be coming in a double upload with the next part of this series from the next part onwards. And yeah, today is going to be a single upload though, and that was all. And if you haven't, please leave a like and subscribe to my channel. And without further ado, let's continue with our story. Jiraiya was snapped off his thoughts when somebody knocked on the door. After telling the stranger to come in, the door opened to reveal the person he was expecting to meet, Itachi Uchiha. "You summoned me, Hokage-sama," Itachi asked. Jiraiya nodded and motioned him to take a seat. "First of all, I'm aware of how much you sacrificed for the village, and what I'm going to ask you may seem a bit too much. So don't be afraid of declining my proposal if you're not up to the task. Without due respect, Hokage-sama, but if that was the case, then I wouldn't become a ninja to begin with, especially now that I'm a jonin," the Uchiha replied. "Just tell me what you want and it will be done. Your devotion to the village is admirable. Okay, here it goes. As you probably know, I used to be Sarutobi Sensei's main informant during his second tenure. During that time, I built a spy network across the elemental nations. However, due to my new responsibilities, I cannot leave the village as often as I could in the past. So I need somebody whom I can trust to take care of this task. And you thought of me for it?" Itachi asked. The Hokage nodded. "All right, consider it done, Hokage-sama. Are you sure? Keep in mind that this job sometimes involves leaving the village for long periods of time. You won't be able to spend as much time with your little brother as in the past. Thank you for your concern, but I am sure that it won't be a problem. Sasuke doesn't seem to be very eager to talk or even spend time with me anymore. Maybe I should give him some space, and this job might be good for me as well. I see that you made your mind. If that's the case, meet me tomorrow at 5 o'clock sharp so I can teach you about your new assignments. You're dismissed." Link break. Later at lunchtime, Naruto and Hinata were sitting on a bench, enjoying their food and each other's company while they looked other kids playing, talking, or eating their lunches as well. Naruto's eyes were practically fixed on Karin, and much to his displeasure, the redhead refused to abandon Sasuke's side. "Man, this sucks. I find a lost clan member and she has to spend the time with that idiot." Naruto groaned. I'm sure that Karin-san will be more than glad to meet you, Naruto-kun. Just wait for the right moment to introduce yourself," Hinata suggested. "Man, what does that idiot have that all the girls all flock around him?" Naruto complained. "You know, it almost seems that a higher being sent Karin to Konoha to fill Ino's vacant spot, now that she doesn't fawn over Sasuke anymore," Naruto angrily said. Hinata couldn't help but giggle at Naruto's comment. "Well, Sasuke-kun, some girls like his looks as well as his strength," Hinata explained. "Man, I'm so glad that at least you don't go after him like the other girls do," Naruto said, smiling at Hinata. "I'd hate to lose you too to him." Hinata blushed a bit. You don't have to worry about that, Naruto-kun. You're my friend. I will always be at your side." "Speaking of friends, maybe we should befriend the new guys," Naruto suggested. "I mean, not only they're new, but they aren't even from Konoha, so I doubt they have any friends here already." "I don't see why not. The three of them look like nice people. Cool. Well, Karine-chan is out of the question since he's with that idiot, so how about Tamaki?" Naruto suggested as he scanned the playground with his eyes, trying to track her. "I like cats too. Maybe I could use that to approach her," Hinata asked, both to herself and Naruto. "Oh, there she is." Naruto finally located the cat Konoichi, and much to her dismay, she walked towards Sasuke. "Oh, come on. She's too..." "Besides, Sasuke isn't even paying attention. Maybe we should approach the boy of the land of water," Hinata meekly suggested. "He's sitting all alone in that bench. I swear if he was actually a girl, he would be trying to get Sasuke's attention too," Naruto muttered at the ground. "Oh, I think you don't know this, but Haku's adoptive dad helped the Uchiha in the coup d'etat." Hinata was taken aback. He did? "Yes, and he's in prison now. Dad was planning to have him executed but changed it to jail time with the condition of Haku becoming a Konoha ninja." I see," Hinata said. For obvious reason, the mere mention of the coup d'etat caused her great sorrow. "On second thought, maybe we shouldn't talk to him." No, Hinata quickly said. We shouldn't judge others based on actions they were not responsible for. Thanks to the cage bird seal, the branch house Yugas were forced to carry. Hinata knew very well what it feels to be responsible, personally accused of something people close to you did. She remembered the time when branch house members used to look at her with pure scorn, all well as muttering under their breaths things Hinata couldn't hear but couldn't imagine. Fortunately, things got better over time as the branch Hyuga members got to know Hinata better. Once they finished their lunch, they approached Haku, who had just finished eating as well and was putting the remains of his bento inside his box. Hi Haku, Naruto enthusiastically greeted. I'm Naruto Uzumaki and this is my friend Hinata Yuga. We like to know you better. If it's okay with you, can we sit with you? The Hyuga asked in stutter. Haku smiled at the duo. Sure, I can use some company. The ice ninja moved aside so Naruto and Hinata could sit. And I think it will be good if I get to know some people here already. Great. Naruto sat down. Hinata did likewise. You said you have a bloodline limit, right? I also have a bloodline limit too, but it's different from yours, Hinata mentioned. Really? Interesting. Do you mind telling me yours? My bloodline limit is called Byakugan. It allows me to see through solid objects, gives me a 360 vision, and I can see people's chakra pathway system. It sounds mostly interesting, Haku said, still smiling. Like I said before, my bloodline limit is ice release. I can combine wind and chakra with water chakra to create ice look. Haku placed his hands as if he was grabbing an invisible ball. Focusing his chakra created a small snowball that floated in midair. Naruto and Hinata watched in display with eyes wide in fascination. Whoa, that was so cool, Naruto praised. You think so? Of course, why would we lie? Hinata asked. Well, if I did this in my country, some people would want to kill me. Is that how you lost your parents? Naruto asked. Then she mentally chided herself for not realizing that she was dealing with a sensitive topic. Fortunately for her, Haku didn't mind to tell. Yes, our neighbors assaulted our home shortly after I woke my powers. Guess that somebody saw me. I lost my entire family that day, Haku explained, omitting the most horrifying detail, namely his father's role. And then you met Zabuza, Naruto stated matter-of-factly. Haku was taken aback by Blonde's statement. His normal, relaxed expression changed. How do you know? My dad's the Hokage. There's a little going on in this village that I'm not aware of, Naruto proudly said. While being the Hokage's son gave him access to quite some privileges information, his statement was an exaggeration. I see. In that case, I must ask you not to tell anybody about Zabuza-sama. I'm afraid that it may make my stay here tad more unpleasant. Don't worry, your secret is safe with us, right, Hinata? The blonde asked, and the brunette nodded in return. By the way, do you have a bloodline limit as well? Haku asked. What? Oh no, I don't have that. But I'm a Jinchuriki, you know. Normally that was something he would be proud of, but Haku and Hinata talking about their bloodlines made him feel a bit left out and wanted to show something that made him special, even if it was a curse. Jinchuriki? Yeah, I know what a Jinchuriki is. Haku cut him before he could explain his condition. You do? Yes, the current Mizukage is one. Naruto was starry-eyed. Really? That's so cool. He can be a Kage? Then it's not cool. Haku suddenly yelled. Naruto was taken aback. Hinata flinched. Why is it not cool, Haku-kun? The Hyuga fearfully asked. He's a person, and real reason people like me are hated. He ruined Kirigakure and the whole country. That's why Zabuza wanted to dispose him. Haku angrily shouted. Then again, Haku wasn't aware or was deliberately ignoring Zabuza's own ambition of becoming Mizukage. Upon seeing Naruto and Hinata's face quickly, Haku regained his composure. I'm sorry for the outburst. You have nothing to do with my plight. Don't think that I hate all Jinchurikis because of that one ruined my life, Naruto-kun. It's okay, I guess, Naruto said with one of the trademark grins. Hey, guess what? When I become Hokage, I'll take some sense and kick it in that Mizukage's face. So it's safe for you to go back to your home. I thank you, Naruto-kun. I appreciate the gesture. Haku sighed. If that was only that easy. By the way, I'd like to know how strong you are. Want to spar against us? Naruto asked. That sounds nice, Naruto-kun. That way I can also measure how strong you two are. Link break. Later that day, once the academy was over, Naruto did bid Hinata and Haku goodbye and headed home. While he usually was eager to return home and train with one of his parents or Shizune in case both of them were practically busy, it wasn't the case anymore. Jiraiya had started to instruct him in Fuinjutsu, something Naruto found horribly tedious. Still, the Toad Sanin insisted, claiming that it was Naruto's culture inheritance, whatever that meant, and the fact that it was an incredibly useful art that not many people bothered to master. Naruto could clearly see exactly why. While Naruto enjoyed the idea of being able to make his own explosive attacks, among other things, Funjutsu training overall wasn't very stimulating. Hey Naruto! A female voice snapped the Jinchuriki from his thoughts. Turning around, he smiled to see it was Karin, who was running towards him. The blonde smiled. Hey Karine-chan. Karin stopped when she close to Naruto and gasped for air. Hey, I just wanted to say that I'm sorry for ignoring you earlier. I got distracted. Yeah, it's quite common with Sasuke, Naruto said grinning. You're in Uzumaki? Yup. On my mother's side. I see. My mother and I thought that we were the only Uzumakis left. We traveled a lot and never stayed on the same place for more than a month. As long as I remember, I never once run into an Uzumaki. Funny thing, I also thought I was the only Uzumaki left. It's so great that we were both wrong. Indeed, the reason we came here was because of Tsunade, who my mother has said that she contains the Uzumaki blood and would protect us. She's my adoptive mother, you know. She take care of me alongside dad, who is the current Hokage. When my parents died, I believe she did it because she was related to my birth mom in some way. It's a good thing then, Karen said, adjusting her glasses. Would you like to come to my house later today? I'm sure my mom would love to meet another family member. Yeah, and maybe another day you can come to my house and meet my family. They aren't Uzumakis except mom, but I'm sure you'll like them. That sounds like fun. Link break. A few months later, Naruto's entire class wasn't at the academy but on training ground 17, which had quite a lot of trees, and thus it was popular for drill skirmishes in the land of fire. Their newest sensei, a tall man in blue whose eyes were covered by sunglasses similar to Shino, who wore a bandana-style headband, had brought them for their exercise. Hello children, my name is Ebisu, and during the following weeks, I'll teach you some exercise that will refine your chakra control, the blue-clad man announced. Chakra control is something important for you young developing ninjas. If you lack control, you won't be able to perform ninjutsu. But enough talking, let's get with the exercises. Ebisu said, nothing that most of the kids paid him now more attention. How many of you would be able to climb this tree? Ebisu asked, while motioning to a large tree behind him. Everyone raised their hands just as expected. Time to drop the bomb. And how many of you would be able to climb it without using your arms? All who had their hands raised lowered then and started muttering amongst them. In conclusion, that's impossible, someone said. Oh, it is very possible. Just look at me, Ebisu said as he started to walk on the tree as if gravity had no effect on him. The kids looked at him in awe and much to special Johnny's delight. In order to do this, you might gather chakra at the bottom of your feet. But be careful, too much chakra and you will be pushed away from the tree. Too little you will fall off. Now choose a tree to climb and begin. The kids split up in several groups. Since the tree were wide enough for several people to climb them at the same time, Naruto stayed with Hinata and Haku, while Sakura, Karin and Tamaka chose to climb a tree with Sasuke. Alright, this is going to be a piece of cake, Naruto explained as he started to climb the tree without much difficulty. They naturally drew some attention. Hey, how did you do it at your first try? Asked an annoyed Kiba. Easy, I already did this exercise with mom and her methods were way more extreme. Flashback. After many attempts, Naruto managed to nail down the climbing exercise, not without effort. Look, mom, I did it, Naruto proudly said. Huh? Much to Jinchurik's confusion, Tsunade was emptying a bottle on the base of tree, and then the slug Sanin tossed a lit match, setting the blaze on tree on fire. What the hell? A very freaked out Naruto yelled. Climbing is easy enough with practice. Staying in the same place for a prolonged time, not so much. Tsunade calmly explained, ignoring the protest of her adopted son. I want you to stay like that for 5 minutes. The fire is to make sure you're motivated enough not to fall. End of the flashback. In the end, she had to buy me a new pair of pants. Naruto recalled, rubbing his butt, but still feeling the phantom pain. But on the bright side, my chakra control improved a lot. Even if his training with Zabuza was brief, it helped Haku to complete the exercise in no time. Hinata was the last one of their little group who managed to reach the top of the tree after almost an hour of trying. Other people who managed to complete the exercise in record time were Shino, Sakura, and Ino. Much to Naruto's amusement, Sasuke was a lot in trouble with the exercise. He managed to climb very far on his first try, but he progressed at a rather slow pace. It was a delicious irony of seeing the prodigy being outlasted by one of his fangirls. Kiba, Shikamaru, Karin, Choji, and Tamaka weren't having an easy time either. After an hour and a half, Ebisu dismissed the class, congratulating those who completed this exercise and gave some pointers and encouragement to those who didn't. Still, after a week, the whole class was able to master the tree climbing exercise. Link break. Hokage's office. Shortly after his educational reform, many people met Jiraiya to protest over how much he had raised the standards at the academy, increasing the number of students who failed to pass from one course to the next, and most people they were forced to drop out. Most of the time, it was furious parents of them civilians who demanded him to return the academy to the way it was. Less frequently, it was an academy teacher who complained about either being overworked or the children failing to grasp their lessons. However, this was the first time a ninja, a Jonin no less, requested an audience with the Hokage to discuss on such topic. The man in question was tall and well built, with extremely thick eyebrows and a ridiculous bowl cut. He was wearing a green jumpsuit under a Chunin flake jacket and orange leg warmers. Besides his rather bizarre appearance, this man was one of Konoha's strongest Chunin and greatest taijutsu specialist, Maito Guy. I don't believe we ever talked to each other after I got this promotion. Jiraiya, the green-clad Jonin, while Guy was known for his exuberant and obnoxious optimistic behavior, now he looked more comfortable and opposite. What do I owe the visit? I believe you have a problem with the educational reform, though I fail to see why. You see, I met one of the academists not too long ago. Guy said he was crying his eyes out since his dream was to become a ninja, but now he sees that his dream crumbling into dust. You see, for some reason the kid is unable to do ninjutsu or genjutsu. I believe you see where the problem lies. Jiraiya claps his finger. I believe I do. That kid's condition is mostly unfortunate, but maybe he isn't meant to become a ninja. There are plenty of ninjas who are forced to retire after suffering certain injuries. This case isn't any different. Listen, Hokage-sama, give the kid a chance. Well, my case wasn't the same. I also sucked at ninjutsu and genjutsu for a long time. That's why I focused on taijutsu. I believe that kid can follow my footsteps and become a ninja with only taijutsu. The kid has a lot of potential. His flames of youth can burn brighter than mine. Jiraiya sighed. I understand your plight, Guy. I really do, but my stance on the academy is non-negotiable. I believe that ninjutsu is an important part of being a ninja, so unless the kid can develop a level of taijutsu impressive enough in order to consider it done, Guy suddenly said. Jiraiya was left stunned for a few seconds. He blinked a couple seconds before he could reply. What? He lamely replied. You were going to say that the kid needs a level of taijutsu impressive enough to make up for his deficiencies, right? Guy asked. Jiraiya nodded. Then leave him to me. I will train him personally so his taijutsu reaches a level unheard of on the academy student. Okay, you can take that kid under your wing, but please don't neglect your duties as a jonin when training that brat. Never. That would be the most unyouthful thing. Thanks for being so understanding, Hokage-sama. I promise that you will not regret this decision. Guy loudly declared before he left. Link break. A few weeks later, once again, Ebisu took Naruto's class out of the academy. This time the training at ground 19, which had a rather large lake. He also told them to bring swimsuits, since they would need it for the next part of the exercise. Okay, all of you already completed the tree climbing exercise, and I hope that you keep practicing on your own. Now I believe it's time to take it to the next level. Ebisu said without further ado. He started to walk on water. Once again, the kids stare in awe. Now this is the exercise a bit harder than tree climbing due to the fact that the tree is solid and water is liquid, which means that you'll need a constant stream of chakra from one foot to stay on the surface, as opposite to a fixed amount of chakra. Ebisu explained as he returned to the grass. The goal of this exercise is to walk 10 meters into the water and get back to the land. Come again. Now begin. Did you master the exercise already, Naruto-kun? Haku asked. Nope, I'm still trying. It's way harder than it sounds, Naruto moaned. Well, Ebisu-sensei made it sound as if it was rather hard to begin with. Hinata mentioned, it's still harder than it sounds. Fortunately, Mom can't set the water on fire. Naruto grinned, but his grin was soon replaced by a mask of contentor yet. Unlike the tree climbing exercise, nobody was able to master water walking on the first few tries. Those who managed to do the best usually sank after walking just 2 or 3 meters, while those who were having the hardest time didn't manage to land a single step without sinking. Naruto and his classmate took another additional 2 weeks to master this exercise, but much to their surprise, the exercise didn't end there. Once they all could walk on water in an acceptable pace, Ebisu revealed the next part of the training, taijutsu spars while on the water. A ninja has to be prepared to fight anywhere. There will be time in which a battle will take commence on a lake or a river, or even at high sea levels. Besides, this will improve your chakra control even further. The blue-faced Jonin enthusiastically explained as he adjusted his shade. So, who wants to go first? Naruto naturally wanted to go first. Sasuke were also there, and was one of the volunteers. The two swimming trunks-clad ninja students placed in front of each other. Near them was Ebisu, who was overseeing fight. Begin, the special Johnny said, as a chopping motion with his hand. Prepare to get your ass kicked, Naruto said with a taunting smile at Sasuke. The Uchiha merely grunted back. Come on, Sasuke-kun. Sakura cheered from the lake shore. Kick his ass, Naruto, said Ino's voice, much to Naruto's bewilderment. Naruto immediately dashed at Sasuke and launched a punch to his face. The Uchiha dodged the fist and, taking advantage of Naruto being wide open, punched him in the gut. The hit messed up Naruto's chakra control and he sank into water. He managed to get back on his feet in a few minutes later. As you can see, remaining on top of the surface while fighting entails some difficulty, but with enough practice it will become natural to you. Ebisu explained, then he looked at Naruto. Continued ready? Yeah, you bet, Naruto said, not taking his eyes off from Sasuke. If that's the case, let's continue. Naruto once again dashed at Sasuke, ready to punch him in the face. Sasuke was already moving to dodge the fist. This time he did the first time, but in the second, rather than a punch, Naruto kicked Sasuke on the hips instead this time. This was Sasuke who lost his balance and fell into the water. Ha! Now about that now, idiot. Naruto taunted at his fallen opponent. Naruto, don't do that. This is a friendly spar between classmates. There's no necessity to be rude, Ebisu said in a cheating tone. Naruto frowned at them, but nodded nevertheless. The spars were usually short, sometimes in favor of Naruto's, sometimes in favor of Sasuke's. Though at one point Sasuke decided to get serious and activated his Sharingan. The following spars were all won by Sasuke. Seeing this, Ebisu decided to end the spar and asked if somebody wanted to fight Sasuke instead. Only one person raised his hand. I believe I can defeat Sasuke-kun, Haku stated as he walked towards the Uchiha, while Naruto returned to the land with the others. Haku studied his rival before Ebisu gave them the signals to start. The Uchiha Sharingan remained active. Begin. Just like what Naruto, Haku dashed at Sasuke, ready to strike him, but just when he was about to punch, Haku then leaped in mid-air. Much to the Uchiha's surprise, Haku gracefully landed behind Sasuke and attacked his legs with a quick low kick. Sasuke lost his balance, but his chakra control didn't flatter him this time and didn't sink into the water. Jumping back on his feet, Sasuke tossed a series of punches and kicks at Haku, who moved back while dodging them. Those eyes, Haku mentioned. What about them? Never saw a Sharingan before? Sasuke replied, mildly irritated. I was talking about your eyes, not your bloodline limit. Haku explained. Those eyes are the same eyes I used to have. Those eyes of somebody who is angry at the world. Did something happen to you? Of course, that question wasn't mostly an act of politeness. Haku knew too well the fate of the Uchiha clan. That is none of your business, Sasuke yelled as he hit Haku in chest with a flying kick. Haku nearly lost his footing and sank, but his chakra control remained strong. You can tell me, Haku insisted as he and Sasuke traded more punches. You know my background. I lost loved ones and have been betrayed by people that I thought they loved me. And because of what your clan did. I said shut up! Sasuke shouted as he hit Haku in the jaw. This time the ice ninja was unable to stay in the surface and sunk in the water. Okay, I believe that was enough, Sasuke. Haku, go back to the land. Ebisu said, does anybody want to spar in the water? Me. Sakura said, raising her hand. I have the best chakra control here, so this shouldn't be hard. I'm glad for your eagerness, Sakura. Does anybody want to fight her? Ebisu asked, looking at the rest of the student. Me, said a soft voice. Hinata was raising her hand. Alright, then come here, stand in front of each other, and begin. Both Konichis took a fighting stance. Hinata activated her Byaku, and Sakura was the first one to attack. Just like with Naruto and Sasuke, she tried to punch Hinata in the face, but the Yuga bent backwards, and avoiding the fist, Hinata then delivered palm strike at Sakura's belly. While her chakra control was really good, Hinata's gentle fist momentarily disrupted her chakra, making her to sink in the water. Boy, that hurts! Sakura moaned, rubbing her belly. Sorry, Sakura-san. No, it's okay. I wouldn't be stopped otherwise. I would be stupid to be mad at you for hitting me during a spar. And how did you bend your back like that? It's like you're made of rubber. The gentle fists require a lot of body elasticity, Hinata explained. Well, no, I know what not to do. Come on, let's continue. Upon getting a taste of gentle fist, Sakura decided to be more careful and plan her strikes better. She adopted a more defensive stance, spurring Hinata to go into the offensive. Both girls spent quite some time fighting, Sakura letting Hinata attack, dodging and parrying her blows, and waiting for an opportunity to counterattack. Unfortunately, Hinata managed to hit her first with the gentle fist again before that could happen. The spar continued for another 5 minutes, in which Hinata landed another gentle fist strike at Sakura, making the pink cat to give up. Tamaki then volunteered to fight Hinata. As she returned to the solid land, Sakura never felt so humiliated. She was hoping to impress the class with her skills and, more specifically, Sasuke, yet all she did was make a fool out of herself. It was shocking how such a sweet, shy, and gentle girl like Hinata could pack such a mean punch. Anyway, that was just a minor setback. She was still the best Konomichi in her class, and nothing was going to change that, or that was what she thought. Ink break. Meanwhile, the rest of the class watched the two girls spar. At that moment, Naruto, who was approached by Shikamaru, "Man, I can't understand. How are you so eager to fight the Uchiha? He always end up beating you." Shikamaru mentioned, "He didn't beat me that bad, at least until he activated his Sharingan, but without it, we're pretty much equals." Naruto protested, as if trying to prove something. "I know, but I doubt he won't want to use that troublesome Sharingan again if he sees he's losing. And truth to be told, I don't see you doing anything about it." Naruto looked at Shikamaru puzzled. He didn't understand what he meant by that. "I don't think I'm following you, Shikamaru. Sasuke defeats you because after activating his Sharingan, you keep fighting him the same way as before. If you see something doesn't work, try something different instead. It's the basic strategy." The lazy Naruto explained. Naruto seemed to understand it now. "Thanks for the advice, Shika. So, you think you should be able to beat Sasuke then?" "Hell no. Even if I can and come up with a strategy, the circumvent the Sharingan, I don't have the strength nor the skill to match him in pure taijutsu." Of course, there was the fact that Shikamaru's father killed Sasuke's mother, and Sasuke might feel like wanting revenge by proxy, but that was something Shikamaru preferred not to bring up. "Don't listen to me, Naruto. Don't listen to him, Naruto," Kiba said, walking towards him. "He thinks strategy is the key to everything, but a big brain won't protect you from a fist to the face. Being strong and fast will. I would tell you why you're so wrong, but honestly, that would take too much effort for such a little gain." Shikamaru lazily replied, "Next time we spar, I will fight Sasuke instead of Naruto, and I will overwhelm him with my superior strength and speed. You'll see." Kiba boasted. "If that was true, it would have been happened already, yet you can barely touch Sasuke." Shikamaru deadpanned. "That's the past. My mom have been training me way harder now, and now I got my dog. Sasuke won't stand a chance." Shikamaru merely rolled his eyes at Kiba's boasting. Link break. Konoha's hospital. After a long stay at the hospital, Hiruzen Sarutobi was finally declared to be in good enough state to be released. Still, that didn't mean his recovery was complete. Far from it. In fact, the doctors pretty much forced him to use a wheelchair for some time, since they told him his body was in a frail state and couldn't afford to make any unnecessary effort in order to speed his recovery. Ah, it's a good thing to finally get out of that hellish place," Ruzan said to the present companion. "If I knew hospital's food was that bad, I had done something about it long time ago. I need to talk about Jiraya with this matter." His companion chuckled. "Unfortunately, I believe my husband has more pressing matters to attend right now. Not that I don't agree, the weeks I've spent there weren't pleasant to me either. I need to tell Shizune more often how much I appreciate her cooking." Tsunade mentioned as she pushed Hiruzen wheelchair. "Were you upset that you couldn't apply to become Hokage?" "What? Hell no! People may think that being Hokage is glamorous, but I know that the Hokage are merely glorified bureaucrats. And if Naruto knew what he was getting into, I doubt he'll want to become Hokage." Tsunade replied in disgust. "Come on, it's not so bad." Hiruzen protested. "You know, I'm starting to think that you wanted one of us to replace you the moment Jiraiya and I return to the village. I won't deny that the thought crossed my mind, but I know for a fact that you would have rejected my offer. Plus, not only did you wore way more than way more than the village, and you'll be overwhelmed. I thought that maybe once Naruto graduated and became a ninja, I could retire and leave the hat to one of you. Sadly, things never turned out as planned. I'm afraid of what will happen if Naruto becomes a ninja. He will eventually leave the village to do missions, and will only have his teammates and senseis to protect him. And what is your plan, keeping Naruto inside the underground bunker for your favor? First, don't mock the bunker. It became quite handy to protect Naruto and the twins when the one-eyed maniac attacked. And second, even if I know I can't protect Naruto forever, I can't help but worry about him. Understandable. It was inevitable that after all these years of being his legal guardian, you ended up growing fond of the kid. Mother, I didn't spend so much time changing diapers, cleaning vomits, and being unable to sleep at night to be considered his legal guardian, thank you. That's a good thing indeed, Hiruzen said, smiling, a little bit chuckling. So you say that your attacker claims to be the man behind the QB attack, right? Correct. That man had both the Sharingan and the wood release. Plus, his teleporting ability would explain how he managed to avoid all the security measures and barriers you set while Kushina gave birth. To think that the man could just teleport one day and wish Naruto away. He won't do that, Hiruzen stated. How can you be so sure? Easy. Both times he tried to get the QB, both times had to wait for the right moment. The first one was Kushina's birth, the second the Uchiha insurrection. He can't teleport in Konoha in middle of the broad daylight. Besides, he should know where Naruto should be first, and I'm sure that his spies should have some. Don't react that far. Let's hope you're right. Still, I'm not letting my guard down. I never said you should. Well, they walked, or better said, Tsunade walked while she pushed Hiruzen's wheelchair. Many townspeople and ninjas stopped to congratulate Sartobi on his recovery, as well as wishing him a good time. Now that he was retired, this made the ex-Hokage realize that, with all the time he spent locked up in that office, he hardly had any time to enjoy the village he protected still. He wouldn't stop protecting it nevertheless. By the way, what are you going to do now that you're retired, Sensei? Tsunade asked. I don't know, honestly. Though I thought that maybe I could help Jiraya a bit and become his advisor. I'm sure he can use your wisdom, and with your helping him, his workload will be. Tsunade interrupted herself when she realized something and frowned. You're going to help him so he can have more time to write those perverted books, right? Rosen smiled at her inconsently. Tsunade, do you have any idea how long I have been a widower? As long as Naruto is alive. I may be old, but even men my age have certain needs. Tsunade grimaced in disgust. Thanks for the mental image, Sensei. Saradabi merely chuckled in return. As this is where I'm going to be leaving off this part, guys. I know it's a half-hour one, but I hope you like it. And tomorrow is going to be a movie, so heads up for that. And next time this part will be uploaded, it will be longer and with the next part of What If Naruto as Mother's Love as well. Stay tuned for that. And this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing out. Peace.